So then Paimon said... Hey, wait a minute. Are you even listening to Paimon? Hello? Is anybody home?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Please do continue, Paimon.
Hey, Lumine. Are you alright?
Oh yes, I'm fine. Just fine.
Hey, listen. Paimon may not be the smartest, but even Paimon can still tell when Lumine is upset.
No, seriously, Paimon. Thank you, but nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. You don't need to worry, and there's nothing you need to do to help.
Hey, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to be going to Liyue? To the annual festival where the Geo-Archon himself will visit?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are we going this way? Isn't Liyue in the opposite direction?
It is.
Ugh, Paimon's confused. Can't you just explain to Paimon what you're doing? It makes no sense to Paimon.
In time. After about another 45 minutes of Paimon following silently behind me, confused but barely able to coax a word out of me, we both finally found themselves standing at one of the statues of the Anemo Archon. It was the one in Starfell Lake. The very first one we'd ever found.
Oh, did you come here to heal up? Surely there was another statue on the way to Liyue.
No, I didn't come here to heal up. Please, sit down. You remember what I was like when you found me, right? I was scared, lost and alone, wandering the shores with no idea where I was or how to get out. I was a stranger. It was just me, and if it weren't for the few skills I'd remembered, I probably would have starved to death in all the time I've spent alone. But then I saw you, floundering at the edge of a little lake, just a few hundred feet inland. I remember you just looked so lost, scared and helpless, like me. You were a stranger too, even though you were thrashing around and I'd been in a quiet haze for all that time. No one to talk to or even look at, except myself, on the rare occasion when I'd find something reflective. And then after I pulled you out of the water, you became my first friend, and my guide. We stayed by each other's side until you were back to full health, and we only had each other. For those first couple of months together. And then we moved inward towards Mondstat. It was my first real taste of the world, of something other than myself and the endless sea, and this statue was the very first thing we found together. The very start of our journey and of our storyline in Mondstat. You were my guide, and you helped lead me into Mondstat, where I met so many weird but wonderful people. A knight who spends most of her time alone and outside, a knight who often goes behind the backs of the others, a vigilante who protects the city, but actively disavows the knights, a seemingly lazy librarian who is also a mysterious traveler from faraway land, a nun who prefers to pop tunes to hymns, a god in a child's body, and the knight who led them all, who preferred diplomacy over brutality, also paradoxical and unique, also perfectly matched. So many strangers, all of them weird like me, and that helped me feel less like a stranger. Paradoxical as that sounds, but maybe that's all the more fitting. They call Mondstat the City of Freedom, and it claims the god of Anemo as its patron deity. I find it strangely poetic, but oddly fitting. That a city of travelers, blown about by the winds of change and chance, should be the first place I ever get to call home. Or the closest equivalent. And perhaps this is exactly why I was able to fit in at all. I know it wasn't always an easy transition and validating. Like they were all just as outlandish as me, even if in different ways. But all those different ways were exactly what made them almost like fellow strangers. And that's what made the sense of community so strong. I'm almost reluctant to leave it now. This is the truth of everything. As badly as I want to find my long-lost twin brother, and as badly as I wanted to go back to the place I used to call home, the thought of having to start all over again scares me. But it wasn't even just that it was daunting. It was also exhausting. Even though I was fully prepared to meet every single Archon of Tevat, the thought of having to explore the entire, massive world of Tevat is a big one, and I'd have to become a stranger again. Just for once, I want things to be easy. Just for once, I want to not have to fight. Mondstat is not my home, and I am still willing to go any length to find my true home again. But just once, I want to get the chance to stay. I don't want to have to keep always moving away. Just for once in my life, I want to stay. I'm tired of always being the outlander or the stranger.
Well, if you want, we could probably spend another day or two in Mondstat.
But we can't afford to lose a single second.
So, you want to go right to Liyue then?
We don't have a choice.
Hey, well, if it makes you feel any better, Paimon will still be here with you.
Yes, Paimon. I know. You're prepared to travel this entire world with me, aren't you? Thank you. I'm a stranger no more. I am found, and I have a friend and a home, and an identity.
As your guide, Paimon will follow you wherever you go.
The one source of consistency in my life anymore? And it means more to me than you could ever know. My first, only, truest, and longest companion. You offer me more stability than the Geo-Archon himself could ever hope to create.
Oh, Paimon wouldn't go that far.
I mean it. Really. I want to thank you. I owe you a lot. You've been such a great guide so far, and you may think that I was the one who saved you, but I think you saved me too. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have you by my side.
Aww.
Sorry, Paimon. I didn't mean to unload so much onto you. I guess my mind has just been so full ever since we saved Avalon, and it sort of all came out today. I hope I didn't scare you, though.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm really happy that you're able to talk to me about all that stuff.
Thank you, Paimon. Really. You're the best guide any traveler could ask for.
And you're the best traveler any guide could ask for. Well, what are we waiting for? We have an Archon to meet.
That we do, Paimon. That we do. For the first time since I was told to go to Liyue, I looked genuinely excited to continue my adventure. It was still going to be hard leaving my Mondstat friends behind, but knowing that Paimon would never leave me made me feel so much better. Now my old spirit was returning, and I almost thirsted for that thrill of exploration again. Even though I had just said I almost wished I could settle down eventually. But my traveler's heart was beginning to beat again, and even though Paimon was not Aether, I almost felt an uncanny resemblance between us. Not in body or mind, of course, but in functionality. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I am, just like Mondstat, a child of freedom. travel and win, even if she was off to the world of Geo. But only if I had a strong foundation would I be able to embrace that side of myself. The sky was disorienting if one could not see the ground below, and in the past, Aether had been the one that kept me grounded. But without him, I had been alone and uncertain. Then Paimon came along, and again, although she was not Aether, I suddenly feel less alone and more confident, because I had a fellow traveler again. Someone to share my adventures with, and someone to go to whenever I needed a friend. Remembering just how precious Paimon was to me, even though Paimon could be really annoying and embarrassingly dumb, rejuvenated me as well as any Archon statue could, and I suddenly feel ready to soar through the clouds once again and take on any god that crossed my path. It looked like the next stop on my list was Rex Lapis. Look out, Liyue. Here I come.
You mean, here we come?